Children don't owe their parents anything. My children don't owe me for making the choice to keep them and taking responsibility and accountability of my actions, my choices, to have sex, which the consequence is children. At Renewing Ascension in Women yesterday, I was doing a parenting workshop with a mom, and we were talking about how sometimes having a child can work your nerves. You can feel unappreciated. And it was a revelation and reminder that our children don't owe us for choosing to keep them, for choosing not to murder them and bringing them forth in this life. It's a choice. Just like you get up, you choose to go to job, go to work, go to your business, to do for whatever your reason is. Or I choose to wear this sweater because it's pink and it's warm. It's getting cold out. That's my consequence. I'm warm now instead of cold. That word "oh," when it's used like that, I looked it up. I get why it may cause a distant, a rebellious, and maybe, I wouldn't say hate, but a disdain when parents have that kind of attitude and apply that in their parenting style. Because the etymology of "owe" means to possess, means to own. And parents, we don't own our children. They are gifts to us. They belong to God first. We are vessels to bring them in this world, to fulfill a purpose that God put in them like He put in us. And we are just the right people for it. Whether it's to carry them and raise them throughout their lives until they're ready to go, or if that responsibility is given to another mom or dad or another family or another environment. The other meaning of "owe" that is used today as in debt, to be indebted, to pay back. Our children are not in debt to us. Do you like being in debt? If anything, we should be teaching our children something that's lost, is that it is an honor to be able to give birth, to have a child, because you're carrying on a bloodline and you're producing another person to help carry on the life on earth and to bring forth new and good positively or life or change. Like I remember reading books about how children are accepted and brought into the world in other tribes and countries and back in the day. Like they were welcomed with joy as another person in the tribe, another person to help make it bigger, to help bring forth more life, to help with the gathering or the food or to make it more prosperous, As whereas nowadays, children are just seen as responsibilities. It's another responsibility or just a business. The importance of what having a child and what it means is gone. They've been dehumanized. I get these days why there are parents who are trying to raise their children a different way. Some people may call it conscious parenting, gentle parenting. And people are making fun of them or saying that stuff don't work or just try it once or twice, but without really knowing what it really means and putting in the work. That takes time to train. It takes time to train a dog. It took time to train you in your job and what your position, what you're doing. It takes time to reprogram something in your mind to form a new behavior in your life. It takes time. And I commend parents, whether they're young, 18s, 20s, or in the 30s or 40s, like 40s or 50s, are trying a new way. But there's still something missing. Because it also takes out, if you grew up how I grew up, children are heard and not seen. Do what I say. Do what you're told, not as I do. Don't talk back. Spankings, aka hitting your child. They're trying to find a balance. Trying to do something different than what was done to them and the effects that it had on them. And there are parts of that old school, so to speak, that still is valid. Some parts are not. That also can be in balance with this new school stuff, this gentle or conscious parenting, with just awareness. It's being more aware of the power that we have as parents over our children, as well as the power that we have to damage our children. And all we should help our children learn the importance of why we chose to keep them. Like I tell them, after hearing a grandma say she tells her granddaughter her birth story, I was like, oh, I'm going to tell my children their birth stories. And each of their birth story is different. And I let them know each of them have brought a new aspect, new lesson, new higher learning for our journeys as individuals, as a family, for us to learn, for us to do and become, and to be more aware of. They should be taught how to speak and think and act in love, with protect and respect for us as their parents. The most important as human beings, for themselves, their families, and other people, and all the creatures and inhabitants of the earth. It's the value